So I just wanted to come 1 minute and talk about anointings because I heard a lot of things that for me is a little bit disturbing, and I'm gonna tell you that sometimes God does talk to you personally, and if He says, "Listen, I'm gonna give you the anointing of Deborah or Elijah," sometimes you have to keep it to yourself because people these days they just like to judge, and basically you just keep it to yourself and you do what God tells you to do, because sometimes that's what happens. They laugh at you, they mock you, they say no, this is not true. When something God tells you that you are, and they say you are not that person, and you did hear from God, because for example, like if you were to do say something like that, don't you think God will punish you? And you, He won't let you go forth if you say something like that. So I don't think it's pride, because if God Himself tell you, you're gonna get this anointing, Deborah anointing, or whatever, it's not just one person. Maybe be many other people with the same anointing. And you can't be judging people. You can't be judging them because of that. And that people have horrible deaths, yeah. All the apostles had horrible deaths. Um, King Saul, you know, he was anointed and he had a horrible death. And I don't see how death has anything to do with it, because there's a lot of pastors, there's a lot of people that had bad deaths. And that has absolutely nothing to do with it. About falling, yeah, everybody falls. There's no way you're not going to fall in this flesh. We make mistakes all the time. And we do need a team to tell you, listen, you know, don't make this mistake, which I have. I have here on YouTube. I have many, many prophets that are really good prophets. They are not just like millionaires and billionaires and all this other stuff that they do. So I don't judge. If you tell me something like that, like you tell me, God told me I have the Elijah anointing, I'm like, okay. If God told you that, I am not gonna be somebody that's gonna say no. You don't have that. And we all fall short of the glory of God. We all fall. Listen to what it means. We all fall. And I mean, look at King David, King Solomon. Come on. They heard directly from God and the angels, and they still fell. And Peter was heavily anointed by God, by Jesus. And he also did a lot of crazy stuff. So I don't judge. That's why I say maybe I have a video on that. Keep the anointing to yourself, because people will be criticizing you. And that's sad, because it's our own people, right? It's not Muslims, it's not this one, it's not that one. No. So if somebody has a horrible death, I'm not going to judge, because that has absolutely nothing to do with whatever. I mean, there are many people, like I said, had horrible deaths. Isaiah was cut in half, and Fatina also, she was flayed. Her skin was flayed and then thrown back into a well. Those were horrible deaths. And as a Christian, and you have that you are gonna have a death that way, you consider it an honor. And you imagine once you die that way, and you go up to the heavens, and you go up to the courts of heaven, and you go up to the angels and say, Lord, look what I went through. And they'll be amazed, they'll be shocked. They'll be like, wow, God will give you many crowns. So I don't understand the horrible death part, because that's not something that I ever put myself, like, think about that, because that's part of being a Christian. So many Christians were martyred in the most horrific way, like what happened to Jesus, right? And so I I don't judge. If somebody comes up to me and tell me something like, oh, unless they tell me they're Jesus Christ, then I'm like, okay, no. So I don't, I don't judge. I don't have that mentality to do that because I already read the Bible and I know what it is, what it says. I still don't understand Christians. It's right in front of them in the Bible and they can't see it. And I'm like, wow, that's just, I don't get it. So just keep the anointing to yourself and do what God tells you to do. God bless you.